Once was a land of woe and strife, where the people were bereft of hope. They prayed to their gods of might and light to deliver the heroes of old. Instead they got heroes. Did you hear the quotes in my voice of moral ambiguity? They may help or may not help you at all. Depends on what's in it for them. They kick and they punch and they maul and they smash. They lie and they scheme and they burn and they slash. Succeed or fail, it adds to the tale. Dungeons and Debacle starts now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. I am your hosting Dungeon Master Kevin. Going around the table, Blake.
Hi, my name is Blake, and I'll be playing Juliet, the Dragonborn Eldritch Knight / Wizard.
And Hannah.
I'm Hannah, and I'll be playing Talia, the Human Rogue.
And John.
Hello, I play Lunadas, Elven Monk.
And Shane.
Shane playing Alexander, the Human Bard.
As you might be able to tell a little bit from my voice, I am sick this week, and I hope I can get all the way through talking this episode. Whoa. That's a cough. I'll cut that out. So, last time on Dungeons and Debacles podcast, you are declared heroes of Hollowspoint for defeating the pinch and bringing back all the weapons that have been stolen. At this point, you've gathered up some supplies and are starting to hit the road to make it to Feydale. So you decided to take the mountain pass, and a couple days in, at about 2 o'clock in the morning, you start, I guess it was Alexander that started hearing some roaring and some flapping of wings or some sort of flapping sound in the distance before you heard these rumblings and these three giants that came crashing over a mountain ridge. So currently they have made it to the bottom of these mountains, and they are standing in the road probably a good 80 feet away from you. At this point, Alexander had cast an illusion spell to make it look like you were behind some trees, and then that is where you find yourselves now. Currently, they don't appear to notice you. Their attention is focused up on this mountain ridge from where they just came from, and they appear to be saying something to each other in kind of these hushed tones, but they're so big that you can still pick some of it out. Does anyone speak giant?
I don't believe so.
It's going to be a big N-O. I do not.
I know comprehend language. May I cast comprehend language?
If you want to.
I would like to cast comprehend language as they're walking up so I can understand giants.
Yeah, for the duration you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear. You also understand any written language that you see. So, give me a perception check.
You got it. 15.
Alright, with that 15, you're hearing these three giants talk back and forth, and they are talking about the White Death and how it killed people in their village and has been chasing them, and how they think they're probably safe down in this valley for now, but they don't know how long that's going to last because it wasn't too far behind them.
That's pretty spooky, Kevin.
Spooky.
Thought Halloween was over. I am going to stay silent as they walk past so as to not accidentally gain attention from talking.
Okay, so they are going to move over into the woods a little bit on the same side of the road as you are on, and you see them trying to slowly move back and I guess be stealthy, but they're not very good at it because they're giants. Actually, if everybody could go ahead and place yourselves on the bottom right-hand part of this map, you're going to, Alexander, you're going to hear them say, "Let's move back slowly," and they're going to start moving toward you. They're not facing your direction. Their eyes are still pointed up on the mountain line.
Okay.
So You think they're probably a good maybe 80 feet from you. But it's now kind of hard to tell because they've moved over into the tree line. You're hearing them more than anything else. And they're not being too stealthy just because of their size. So after 3 or 4 minutes of this, you are going to hear this loud roar again. And this time it reverberates through this valley. And then you're going to see you're going to look up on the mountain ridge where they just came from. And you're going to see another giant come running down that hill before it can get too long. You're going to see a large adult white dragon fly over the mountain line and grab a hold of this hill giant and rip it apart in its teeth as it makes a sharp turn back across the mountain valley and disappears out of sight.
Hey, Kevin.
Yes.
May I roll a nature check to see if I can recall any information about white dragons?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. You could either do that or Arcana would work too. Or History.
I've already rolled, so it's a bit too late. I should have waited.
Okay, so that's a 10. You know that white dragons are considered vicious and brutal and probably more beast-like than the other chromatic dragons. They're also less intelligent. And you also know that they are evil and mean-spirited.
Would it be reasonable to do an Arcana check to see if I know if they have the ability to see through magical, illusions?
Yeah, sure.
19.
Yes, they do.
Okay, that's not good to know. Well, not good to be a fact, good to know.
You would know that most dragons are said to have that ability. Whether or not that's true or not, that is the rumor.
Okay.
After this white dragon disappears back behind that valley, you are going to see these hill giants pop out of the woods and start coming down the road. And they're making pretty good speed. You guys are off the side of the road, right?
Yeah, we're off to the side, so we're in the woods, but the illusion makes it seem like it's just regular woods and there's no... Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to get probably about 30 feet from you, and then you're going to hear that roar again, and they're going to move over here into the tree line, and they're probably not but about 15 feet from you at this point, but they do not appear to have noticed you yet.
I make a face at them. Stick out my tongue, give them the fingers, but I don't say anything.
All right, so they're gathered up over here, probably not about 15 feet away from you. They don't seem to be paying any attention to you. They're still looking up the mountainside. And at this point, everybody can hear their conversation going on, but Alexander is the only one who would understand it. From what you gather from what they're saying is they knew that person that the dragon just took. Apparently they didn't like him very much, but they're going to hunker down here and hide until the flapping and the roaring gets further away.
So this dragon is probably going to be a problem for us if it lives in these mountains and we go and, try and go through them. I know dragons are kind of my deal, and I hate to say this, but maybe we could team up with the giants and, I don't know, push it back to its lair. Just, keep its head down while we make our way through the pass.
Would giants be willing to team up with us?
Give me a history or a nature check.
Man, in learning to read, Talia really read a lot of books.
Lunadas did not.
I have yet to pass a single history check this entire campaign, and I have a +5 in it, so...
Alright, so, Talia, you would know that giants, for the most part, have a reputation from being stupid, evil, and cruel. They're usually very xenophobic. They will eat just about anything that's not another giant.
Okay, so I will relay that information. Say, guys, I've read that giants, they don't like other people who aren't them. They'd be willing to eat us. Like, I don't know if teaming up with them is such a good idea.
Yeah, I don't like talking with giants, or from what they're saying, they're not the most nice people.
But they're terrified of the dragon, right?
Are you saying that we're not? Just because we're terrified of the same thing doesn't mean that they're not going to kill us.
Maybe we just wait and then try to be quiet through the mountains.
Yeah.
Everybody give me stealth checks.
Aren't we still in the confines of the illusion, so we're not perceptible?
That only affects
change
visual.
noise.
I've also got horses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have disadvantage. I'm in heavy armor. Hold on.
24. I nailed
15. Not bad.
26, and it wasn't even a crit.
For the most part, they don't seem to be paying any attention to you guys. They are still focused up on the mountain line.
Very stealth.
Yep, those were some pretty good rolls. So another 20 minutes is going to go by, and they're basically just hunkered right here.
Guys, real quick meta talk. These guys aren't going to go away until we kill them. So,
Well, you don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, they're just backing up, running away from the dragon.
You also haven't heard anything, any more roaring from this dragon. And give me a perception check.
9.
23.
Alexander, you can see that they seem to be visibly a little bit more relaxed, and they appear to be getting restless. Talia, you would see the same.
I'm willing to wait.
So another 30 minutes goes by, and you don't hear any of that roaring, and you're going to see them come out of the woods and start walking slowly back up the road, keeping an eye towards the mountain line.
That's reasonable.
And then another 30 minutes are going to go by, and you're going to see them start climbing back up the mountain. Another 30 minutes after that, you're going to see them disappear over the ridge.
It's like being low level in Skyrim whenever you see a dragon.
Avoiding them?
Yeah, just seeing them flying around in the sky and like, I don't want to be near that thing.
I just killed them.
Even at low level?
I mean, it took a long time and lots of running away, but yeah.
What difficulty were you on?
At that point, I was probably on like a medium difficulty.
Yeah, once you get to like the 2 difficulties above normal, it's just like, well, I looked at them the wrong way. I'm dead.
Yeah, no, so Skyrim has it would change the difficulty as you got better. Like, it would sense that you're getting better, so it would increase the difficulty. And like one time I encountered something and I just could not beat it, and I looked at the difficulty. It had increased to like the max difficulty on me. I was super upset. Anyway, that's
You dig the best ditch to give you a bigger shovel.
exactly.
All right, so at this point, Alexander, how long does that spell last?
I put it on there. Let me scroll up.
10 minutes.
Yikes.
So they noticed us about 10 minutes in, okay. Or they're really stupid.
I mean, the cell check was still applied, tell you what.
So actually, that illusion would have gone away before they even started backing down the road. We'll just let that go, though.
All praise be to the damn.
Yeah, they were backing down the road.
They go over the mountain ridge line, and you don't see them again. You're no longer hearing that roaring, or you're occasionally hearing that flapping again, echo off some of the mountain walls, but it doesn't sound like it's near you anymore.
All right. So we have giants in the mountains. We have dragon in the mountains. Either one alone, I don't think is a problem.
You don't think an adult white dragon's a problem?
It's a non-issue.
I can disabuse you of that real quick.
Yeah, let's not get cocky, shall we?
Too late.
We have ruin axes and Tiamat on our sides.
I'm pretty sure the only reason that we didn't die to the young dragon was because it kept failing rolls.
You had to recharge his breath weapon.
Well, the danger is gone now. Maybe we should get moving before it comes back?
That makes sense.
All right, so you break in camp and moving through the night?
Unless you guys want to stay here and risk this guy's coming back.
Let's get go.
Yeah, let's get out of
Let's
here.
move.
All right, so you break camp. It probably takes you about 15 minutes to get all your stuff together, I guess armored up, and hit the road. So you travel through the night. You've probably got another 3 or 4 hours before dawn. Let me move you back over here to this map. So at this point, you're about this far in to the mountains. You think from the maps that you've seen in Hollowspoint, you have about another day and a half of travel. As you travel that day, there's going to be a light dusting of snow. It starts around noon. You start to see a little bit of accumulation, but not enough to impede you. And for most of the days, you're keeping your eyes on the skies, looking for any sign of that dragon or movement on the mountain line to see if there's any giants up there looking at you. But you're able to make it to the next camp probably about 3 in the afternoon. You decide probably, since you were woken in the middle of the night, to stop there early. You'll be able to rest there without any problem whatsoever. Throughout the watches through the night, you're going to hear some wild animals up in the mountains, but they seem like the normal fare, like maybe, wolves or maybe some mountain lions, but nothing like a giant or a dragon. The next morning you wake up, eat your breakfast and break camp, and you are going to notice that the road is starting to slope down at a grade out of these mountains. About another half day of travel, you are going to exit the mountains into these rolling into this plain right here, and you're going to see some rolling hills up in front of you. You're going to see some farm villages with some scattered houses. It looks like the harvest has already been done and people are kind of hunkered down for the winter. You're going to see some people out splitting some wood, taking care of livestock, that sort of thing. Travel another day. You're going to make it down here towards the hills. Here, this same thing. You're going to see some some woodcutter cottages and some scattered farms throughout this area, but no large villages or anything like that. So from the next day, you're going to make it to Hill Plain, which after you come out of these rolling hills, you're going to see this large expansive plain. Just seems to go over the horizon. It's in between these two forests to the north and to the south. Doesn't appear there's anybody that lives out here. You don't see any smoke or houses, any campsites, and there's not really even a road here. It's like this winter wheat and grasses that have died, but it just stretches out as far as you can see. From the maps you've seen, it's probably another good maybe 2 days of travel here, but the land's flat and unimpeded. As you make camp, I'm guessing out here in Hill Plain, or do you want to try to turn north and go through the forest to Elf Barrow? Or you also know that there's a village down here, Hilldale, where you may be able to find a boat to cross, or you can try your luck over here, some of the smaller farming villages at the end of Hill Plain.
I don't trust Hilldale. There's a mad scientist there plays around with time machines.
Doc Brown?
Yep.
Marty, it's your kids!
I think we should continue through Hill Plain and see if we can find a boat to cross.
I agree.
All right.
Well, if we head north to Elf Barrow, toward Elf Barrow, then we might see a boat that we can catch a ride on, but I don't trust that Maw Bay thing. But if we head to the west, then we have to go all the way to there-ish before we found a place, probably.
You would also know from the maps that there are some like smaller fishing, not villages, but like collections of traders and fishermen that live along this coast up here from Hillplain that may have a boat that can take you across the river.
Including the cart?
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Because they're not really farriers, because there's no town.
I think it'd be reasonable to go up through the hill plain, see if there's anybody that can bring it across, and if not, we can just make our way down the water to Farish and get a boat across, try and get to Perm or Lake Meadow.
That sounds like the best plan, I think.
Because if we go to Hilldale, then we still have to make our way upwards towards Farish.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to go to Hilldale.
Yeah. Kevin, just to double check, so the flow of water is going like from the bottom right upwards to the left, right?
It goes from the north to the south.
Farish up toward Elf Barrow, down toward Ashmarsh?
That would actually be going upstream.
Oh, I see. It comes south from Elf Barrow.
No, I mean, I'm sorry. From you have a divergence of water that happens right here, and you have some of the water goes south west past Small Bay to Frost River, and then some of the water is directed down towards the Black River.
Does that ever happen in reality?
It's fantasy, dude.
God, we need a geologist up in here. All right, but yeah, still, I say we head across the hill plain toward the river, then down to Parish. Anybody has serious arguments with that? I suspect maybe. I don't know.
What about non-serious arguments?
I mean, fantasy arguments? I'm open.
No, just nonsensical ones that have no basis.
Only if they're funny.
I have no objections. I think it's a sound plan. And it'll get us away from the mountains and the hills and the cold.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of any of those things.
Pansies.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Pansies. I'm from way up north. I'm used to the cold.
Well, not all of us can have pointed ears to store heat in or whatever they do.
They're radiators. They radiate away coldness.
Talia's gonna pull the hood up on her cloak with a bat and say, "I have pointy ears."
When you draw a picture of Talia, make sure she has her hood up.
I'll just draw a Batman mask on her. So yeah, let's head across Hill Plain, south, west towards Farish.
Yep.
Okay.
Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep the party rolling. Though the something's something. Rawhide. Dragons, giants, weather. Hell bent for. Yeah, let's go with leather. So that we can kill something. Hide.
So you are making your way up to Hill Plain, and then what are you going to hit the river and then make your way southwest to Farish?
Yeah, we'll see if they have. Yeah, we'll see if they have any ferries along the coast of like the Hill Plain coast there. And if not, we'll make our way down to Farish.
Okay. You are going to spend about another day and a half and get this far up towards Hill Plain, and you've kind of started making your way towards the forest in here to the southwest, and on your towards the end of your second day, or about midday of the second day. Everybody give me a perception check.
Natural
9.
1.
9 for me.
13.
So passive of 16.
Olenidas, you are going to see some movement in some of the grass, which is probably about when you're standing in this grass is probably about waist high. You're going to see probably about 100 feet out in front of you some movement in that grass, but you don't see anything sticking out.
Say, hold up. There's something out there.
You mean the wind and the grass?
Could be. Let's see. Could I do an acrobatics check, try to jump really high up so I can see if I can't see anything in the grass, like looking down on it?
You can, but I think that would still be more of a perception check. I mean, you could probably stand up in the cart.
You have a 10-foot vertical you're not telling us about?
Probably. With a +7 on my acrobatics, yeah, probably. But, yeah, I didn't get anything special on the specific perception check.
You're seeing much the same before, except now that you've stopped, you're seeing the movement in the grass has stopped as well.
Okay, the movement has stopped, so it could be the breeze. Or it could be an adult grass dragon.
Give me another perception, or everybody can give me a perception check now that you've stopped.
Oh, look at that. Another one.
Damn, you're rolling for shit today.
And I keep getting
this is how it is every time, dude. I don't roll anything but ones. That's not true, but it certainly feels like it, given how
Dice are rigged.
So, Alunidas, you are going to hear it kind of sounds like this low, like dog yipping. And it sounds like there's more than one, but they're like yipping to each other. And it's very like low. You can barely hear it.
Puppies, I hear puppies.
Abbott's going to start barking.
I'm gonna tell him quiet, because that is a command he knows.
Okay, he gets quiet. And then you are going to start seeing some movement in this grass over here, and over here, and over here. But it's like this slow movement. But the grass is moving against the wind that's going through this valley.
So there's definitely something out here. And it's yipping. I think it's gnomes.
I'm going to get Abbott under the cart to try to protect him.
You're seeing some now more movement that you're paying attention. You see movement over here. You see movement over here. And you see some movement over here.
What's the call, Lunadas?
Well, it looks like we're surrounded by things that go yip in the light. So, I say we find out what it is, and if necessary, kill it.
Oh, we're volunteering. By all means.
What if
Lunadas is going to stride forward. I said if necessary.
I would like to play my bagpipes and bardically inspire our guy.
Which guy?
Lunadas, the one that's going in.
I approve of this plan.
All right. You're going to see Nifron, too. He is going to move his horse up as he looks around. Give me another perception check.
19.
You're going to see some movement right here. You're going to see some movement over here. And some movement over here.
I advance and look again.
Give me another perception check. You look around and it appears that the grass has stopped moving. But you are hearing that low yipping. It's gotten closer.
I'm going to call out nice and loud. I don't see anything, but I definitely hear it. Whatever the hell it is.
Talia, you are going to see some movement over here and some movement over here. So is Nifron. He is going to move his horse up.
Yep, Talia's going to move to here.
All right, everybody give me another perception check.
How does Bardic Inspiration work? Does that give me like a plus D6 on something?
Yeah, so whenever you make a roll on pretty much anything, you can, before Kevin tells you whether you have hit or missed or succeed or failed, you can be like, hey, I want to use my Bardic Inspiration. You'll add a 1d6 to your roll.
Alright, so I just rolled a 23 on Perception.
Okay.
Right, so you should use your d6 to get it up there. Pump up those numbers.
Yeah, that's what I did. I got 18, I added 5 to it. I'm going to see the shit out of this.
All right, so you see some movement in the grass here and some movement in the grass here, and you're going to see these like gold dog's eyes peering at you from out of this grass.
I see animal eyes. I don't know what they are, but I'm going to move right at them. Okay, I said I don't know what they are, and then I told you I'm moving right at them. So is that like a step north, northwest, what?
Yep. So you are going to take a step forward, and at this point you are going to take you're going to step forward, and then you're going to look to your right, and you are going to see a gnoll stare right up at you and pop out of the grass, and it is going to take a swing at you with its halberd.
And at that point, I yell out, "Gnolls! Gnolls in the high grass."
So that's a 12. That's a miss.
Very, very.
And that is a crit fail.
I'm going to take credit for that crit fail, even though I shouldn't.
Let's see. Takes a disadvantage on all saves and skill checks for the rest of the day. So as this thing comes popping out to your left, you're going to see another gnoll. It's going to pop out, and it has a spear. And that is a 24 to hit.
That hits.
For 7 damage. Ooh, that's a 27. Crit.
Yikes.
Your attack causes blood to trickle in your target's eyes. Target takes a -1 penalty to attack and dex saves until the end of your next turn.
Ouch. I'm going to let out a yip.
And you're going to take 11 points of damage. Alright, so that is their surprise round. Let's go ahead and let me bring up the initiative tracker. Everybody go ahead and drop yourselves into initiative.
So does -1 to dex include initiative or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I won't delete myself from the initiative tracker this time.
No, it wouldn't. It's dex saves, not dex related checks. So.
Okay.
Alright, is everybody in?
I am.
Yes.
Alright, Lino, you're going first.
All right. I am unhappy with what has just happened. Let's see. It attacked me with a spear. That gave it reach. But if I move, that should not trigger opportunity, right?
Depends on which way you go, because both of these gnolls, one has a halberd, the other one has a spear. That both have reach.
I'm just saying, if I move away from Knoll 4 toward the rest of the group, would that trigger
yes,
attack
because
of
you're...
opportunity for me?
Yes.
It would? Okay.
Because he has 10-foot reach.
Alright. So in that case, I'm just going to stay right where I am for the moment. I am going to click my heels as my bonus action and start my haste nest. And now I am going to attack Knoll 3. That's a 12.
That's going to miss.
Second attack on Knoll 3.
That's going to hit.
17. Oh, that hits for 8 damage. Third attack on Knoll 3, 22 for 5 more damage. And now I'm going to spend a chi point for Flurry of Blows.
That's going to miss. And that second one hits.
And that second one hits, so then I am going to use my flurry ability to push him the fuck away from me. It's a DC 14, and I believe that's a strength check.
He fails.
Okay, so he is going to get pushed 15 feet to the north.
Wouldn't it be like this way diagonal?
I don't know how push works. I thought I could choose directions. If I can't, then I guess he would go northeast.
Okay, and 15 feet. Alright, so you punch the hell out of this dog man, and your last attack is like a kick, and you just plant your foot square in its chest and just knock it on its ass 15 feet away from you.
And, yep, that'll do it for my turn.
Alright, so as you push him through, you're going to see it hit something, and then you're going to see another gnoll pop up here in the grass.
Yep, motherfucker.
Yep. Alright, next up's Talia.
I feel like that's not right because I got a 5.17. And
Yeah, you
Nifron
didn't,
definitely got 12.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
you
bad.
didn't rearrange
I
the
didn't
tracker.
reset. Okay.
I mean, I still should have gone first. That's not a problem.
Right. Okay, so next up is Nifron. Nifron is going to take off running towards these gnolls. And he's going to make it up here to this gnoll. And he is going to attack. That is a 17, a 28, a 24. All those are going to hit. It's for 30 points of damage. All right, next up is Alexander.
That is I. I would like to give Bardic Inspiration to Nifron, which will bring me to 2 left for the day. And then I would like to shoot Gnoll 1 with my crossbow. Does 9 hit?
It does not.
And that will be my turn.
All right, next up is Gnoll 3. Is going to walk over here and attack Nifron. That's a 19. That's going to hit for 9 points of damage. And the second attack's a 9. That's going to miss. Next up is Gnoll 4, who is going to charge at Lunidos with its spear. That's a 15.
Miss.
And that's another 15.
Also miss.
Talia, you're up.
Alright, so I am going to move over here. And I'm going to stab Gnoll 1. 23?
Oh, yeah, that hits.
That's for 5. I'm going to sneak attack. And so that's a total of 20. And then use my offhand. Oh, never mind. In that case, I think I have enough movement to move up to this gnoll. Probably here, not like all the way over.
Okay.
But I'm going to stab him too with my offhand dagger. Ooh, 13.
That's a hit.
Oh, for 5 damage. And that will be my turn.
All right, next up is Juliet.
All right, Juliet's going to move up to Alexander, drawing her weapon. Stay close to me, and I'll protect you. And launch a magic missile at Gnoll 4. It's going to be 7 points of damage.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew. And that will end Juliet's turn.
All right. So, as this Talia has moved up and got into this fight up here with a gnoll, you're going to see another gnoll pop up behind Nifron, and another gnoll pop up over here.
There is a gnoll too. Dang, I was just hoping the gnolls couldn't count.
All right. Shift this order. All right. So Gnoll 5 is entering this fight. Is going to move down here and flank Nifron. That's a 16. That's going to miss, and a 21. That's going to hit for 12 points of damage on Nifron. All right. Next up is Lunidos.
Okay, I am going to attack Gnoll 4 real quick. 24 for 8 damage. 23 for 10 more damage. Ooh, crit for 6 more damage. And a 6 on the crit table.
That is bleeding out. You cut your opponent deep or cause internal bleeding. Target takes 1d4 damage each round. Con save ends.
Okay, so I guess he'll take that at the end of some turn?
Yeah, he'll take it this turn, and then he'll take it next turn, and then he has to make a save. So roll me d4.
Woohoo, 4 more damage.
Nice.
Alright, now I'm going to do Flurry of Blows. 6 damage, and I'm going to
Dead.
DC 4. Oh, he's dead, okay. I was going to try and push him away, and in any event, I'm now going to pop back over here and flank Gnoll 5.
You pushed him away out of the prom material.
And use my last Flurry of Blows on Gnoll 5. 25 for 8 more damage. And he I will knock down. Dex save 14.
He passes.
Okay, so he's still standing. And that does it for Luno's turn.
All right, next up is Nifron. He is going to attack. Which one is this? Gnoll 5. He's going to spin around and stab him. That's a 24, a 29 crit, and a 26 crit.
Don't tell me that got dead.
So that's 12, 23, 33, 34, 42 points of damage, 44, 46 points of damage.
So he basically perforated this guy, and then he fell into two parts.
Yeah, so he just takes his rapier and like sticks it like through his heart twice, and then takes his rapier, or not his rapier, but his sai, and sticks it up through its throat and into its skull. Alexander, you're up.
I will attempt to shoot Gnoll 2 with my crossbow. 19 to hit.
That hits. And are you using that
6.
+1 crossbow?
Yeah, I believe so. I have a +5 bonus to it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah. So that's going to be 6 damage.
All right. Is that it?
Yep.
Next up is Gnoll 2, who is going to attack Nifron. That's a 21 and a 17. The 21 will hit. Actually, both of them will hit. So that is 17 points of damage to Nifron as he gets stabbed twice with a spear. Ouch. Gnoll 3 is up. Gnoll 3 is going to turn and attack Talia. It's a 12 and a 16.
Both miss.
All right. Talia, you're up.
I am going to move over here and attack. What is that? Gnoll 3.
Yep.
19.
That hits.
Sneak attack. That's 17 damage. And then my offhand.
It doesn't matter. He's dead.
Oh, can I move over here and use my offhand then? Because that was a
Yep.
really good roll. Or here.
Yep.
Yeah. And that was
6
was a
points of
crit.
damage. All right.
and an 11 on the crit table.
You attack so quickly, you get a free melee basic attack. If a spell was cast, the caster could use a basic melee attack or cast one free cantrip. This only works on the creature you just attacked.
Sweet. So my dagger.
Yep.
It's 25 for an extra 5 damage.
Okay. So you're up here and you stab this gnoll to death, and then you like roll 10 feet and come up behind this other gnoll that's facing Nifron and stab it in the back. Next up is Juliet.
Alright, so it looks like they have it handled over there, so Juliet is just going to ready an action to attack any gnoll or enemy that approaches Alexander,
Okay.
in case there are more. And that's it. And I will be right back.
It's probably a good thing that he did that, because that's exactly what's going to happen right now. Gnoll 6 is going to come up and attack Juliet from behind. Blake, are you away?
Yeah, I think he stepped away for a moment.
Okay, I'll wait for him to get back. Can't attack a man while he's away from the table.
Sure you can.
Yeah, that's literally the whole point. As Nixon said, kick them while they're down.
That's why he prepared the action, so that he could step away from the table and the game could continue.
Well, the action he prepared is if someone tried to attack Alexander.
Oh. In that case, screw him. He did not prepare well. Attack him while he's down.
I am sorry about that.
No, you're
One
not.
of them came into range, obviously. Which one came? Oh, only one of them is in range.
Yeah, it's like as soon as you prepare that action, the gnolls were coming up next behind you, and it's
Alright,
attacking
sorry
you.
about that.
Oh, no worries. All right, so Gnoll 6 is going to come up behind Juliet, and that is a 10 and a 17.
Neither of those will hit, actually.
What's your AC now with that full plate?
18.
Nice. An 18
Definitely
AC
an upgrade.
wizard. All right, so that misses.
Can I take my attack against him now?
You specified if somebody tried to attack Alexander.
Alright, fair enough.
Next up is Luna.
All right. See, what kind of weapon does Null 2 have?
Gnoll 2 has a spear.
So I'm in threat range. He would be able to attack me. So I'm just going to go ahead and try and help kill him real quick.
That hits.
All right. So 6 points of damage. 15
That hits.
for 7 more. Ooh, crit.
That
For-
kills it.
Okay, that kills it. Aw. What is 1400 table down?
That is damage you do can't be healed for the duration of the encounter.
But I'm guessing I'll into that one. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to move down to help Alexander and what's Juliet.
All right. Are you moving?
Yep, just had to, count. I had plenty of them. All right. So now I am flanking Null 6, and I'm just going to do bonus strikes on bonus strike on Null 6. Ooh, another crit.
You got a crit fail and a crit hit with advantage. Okay.
So that's a 3 on the crit success table.
That is target takes 1d6 extra damage. So roll me a d6.
So we took a total of 10 damage all total. And that's it for Luna's turn.
Next up is Alexander.
That is I. I will use my Cursed Dagger to slice at Null 6. 8 to hit.
That's going to miss.
I'll pass my turn.
And you hear that demon go, so close. Null 7 is going to run up and try to attack Alexander, but before he can do that, Juliet, take your reaction.
He's actually out of range. I don't get that diagonal section.
Okay. You weren't going to cast a spell, you were just going to take a melee attack?
It was just going to be a melee attack, yeah.
Okay. That's a 10 and 11. Both those are going to miss you. Next up's Talia.
Alright, so Talia.
Wait a second, don't you have a 10-foot reach?
Yeah, I thought it was 10 feet though, not anything. So does that mean I can still hit that square?
I would think so. Because if he was right here, you'd be able to hit him.
Yeah, I don't know.
According to
Just because
the rule, it says-
diagonals work weird in 5e, in my experience. Well, doesn't matter. Yeah, okay, then I'll take mine.
I mean, the measurement tool says 10 feet, so...
Okay, if we're going by the measurement tool, then by all means. That's going to be a 24.
That'll hit.
That'll be 9 slashing damage.
Ouchies. All right, Talia.
Okay, so I'm going to move. Shit, I forgot the square. There. I think that was 30 feet. And then I'm going to throw my dagger at Null 7. It's a 24.
Hits.
Sneak attack. So, 18 damage total. And then, offhand, I'm going to throw that one as well. It's a 22.
That hits.
So, 18, 23 damage total.
So you whip these daggers into this gnoll's back, and you're just seeing it going to like collapse forward, and then it props itself back up on its feet with its spear, and then it's going to turn and snarl at you. Juliet, you're up.
I'll snarl back.
Alright, so Juliet's going to position herself next to Null 6, lined up with Null 7, and use her breath weapon, which will unfortunately hit Lunados, but, collateral damage would.
It's called splash damage, bitches. Suck it up.
So he has to make a DC... Why is it? It's a DC 13. I don't know why it's saying DC 12. Dexterity save, or take 13 fire damage, half on a successful save. That includes you, Lunados. Oh, you're fine.
Both of the gnolls failed.
So I only take 6 damage?
Correct. 7? I don't know if you round up or down for damage, I forget.
What was the additional damage?
It's 13 damage total. But,
yeah, so
half force.
Yeah.
So it's 6?
Yeah.
7? 6.
6. And that will be it for Juliet.
So Juliet erupts the spout of flame out her mouth, and you see these two dogmen go up in flames. The one, Null 7, that was over by Alexander, was looking pretty rough already, and barely made it up to its feet when you hit it with this flame, and then it just collapsed, yipping to the ground, and then goes silent and still But this other gnoll beside you's up and still around. It is going to turn and face you, Juliet, and take its spear and try to stab you. That's 2 11s. Both of those are going to miss. Linidos, you're up.
All right, let's see. I'm going to hop to the side real quick to flank this fucker. Oh, look at that. A crit hit on my first attempt for a total of 10 damage with a 13 on the crit table.
You're not in the face. Your attack is so intimidating that one target cannot take an action for 1 round.
All right, and my next punch is 21.
Hits.
For 9 more damage.
What's it look like when you kill this gnoll?
After, punch him the first time super successfully and leaving him stunned, cowering, I then do a quick shot to the base of the skull, which causes a little click and he just collapses.
And pats out a little bit of the fire that his fur is on fire. You're like patting it out with your fists.
All right.
So you're out of combat, and Nifron looks around and he's like, "Damn gnolls, filthy animals."
They should know better than to attack us. I mean, not for any particular reason. They should know better.
Well, it was a fun bit of exercise, but should be on our way.
Yeah, plenty of walking left to do.
Assuming you're probably going to look through the corpses.
Always.
So you're going to find really nothing of value. Their weapons are pretty in disrepair. They're wearing some really rough hide armor, but you are going to find a total of about 10 gold pieces.
Talia's gonna find the first one she killed and cut its head off.
Okay.
And she's also gonna turn to Nifron and say, "Hey, can you help me figure out how to, boil this down to a skull?"
I can't imagine it's much more difficult than cooking a soup.
Well, this will be exciting.
But no, I'm no taxidermist, girl. So we're going to say that you travel for the rest of the day with no problem. You're going to be able to camp out with no issues that night. And
hold on. Before we continue our adventure, there were items that we kept from the pinch that we never identified.
Yes, there was. There was also one item that you haven't identified from the mansion.
Let's go ahead and do that quick.
So we'll say that night, Juliet, and between Juliet and, I guess Juliet can
Alexander.
I don't think Alexander can cast spells as rituals, can you?
Do it without the slots by doing the ritual?
Right.
I don't think you can do ritual casting though as a bard. That's the thing.
Right.
It is a specific class feature, but I'll double check.
We'll just say even if he spends a slot on it, between the two of you, between casting ritually and him just casting the slots, you'll be able to identify all these magical items. So here's what you got. There is a steel rapier that you found in the mansion. There is a glaive, a scimitar, a short bow, and a quarterstaff that you found in the pitch's loot. So we'll start with the rapier. It is a steel rapier with a steel hilt and a black leather wrap along its handle and a steel pommel. This is a dancing sword. The bearer may spend an action to permanently animate this weapon. Use the flying sword stat block from the Monster Manual, page 20. Also, the weapon retains any other magical properties. Once the animated weapon is reduced to 0 hit points or unattuned, the weapon shatters like glass. So basically, you can animate this thing, and it'll stay animated until it's reduced to 0 hit points, where you unattune it, and then it's destroyed.
Oh. So it will literally float forever.
Yep.
Wow.
Next up is the glaive. The glaive has a steel blade on it. It is a dark wood handle with some runes that are inscribed upon it. This is a +1 glaive that can be used as a spellcasting focus. So, do you know how spellcasting focus works?
I do. I don't know if our viewers do.
Okay, so basically, any component that doesn't have a cost associated with it in the material component section, this glaive can be used instead of that if the component doesn't have a cost associated with it in the spell's description.
Cool.
The next weapon is a steel scimitar with a brass hilt and a wooden handle. It's a +1 scimitar, and whenever the bearer deals damage to a creature, this weapon gains a charge. As a bonus action, the bearer can use any number of charges to deal that much extra lightning damage on their next attack. If around 6 seconds goes by and the weapon has not struck a foe, it loses all charges. The next weapon is a short bow. This is made out of a dark wood. It has some runes etched along, I guess the part right above the handle where you hold it. The bearer makes a successful attack with this weapon. They gain 10% of the damage as temporary hit points. The hit points expire after 60 seconds. Next up is a quarterstaff that is this light wood that's kind of carved in a spiral all the way around it. It does have some brass rings around it in various sections towards the top. So there's like on each side of the quarterstaff there's 3 stripes, 3 bands of brass. It acts as a +1 quarterstaff, and the weapon contains a pool of healing energy that can restore up to 30 hit points. The bearer may use an action to plant this weapon in the ground and release its energy. While planted, and undepleted creatures that end their turn within 10 feet of the weapon are showered in a warm glow that restores 10 hit points per round. A long rest restores 1d6 of that energy to the weapon's pool, and it requires attunement. And that's what you got.
Cool. Lunanos will take the quarterstaff if nobody else super duper wants it.
Sounds like take it.
All right, fantastic. Juliet will take the glaive.
That leaves the rapier, the scimitar, and the short bow.
I would like the rapier.
I think I'd like the short bow.
Can I get those stats for the rapier, please?
It acts as a +1 rapier.
Okay. And it's a dex bonus, right?
Yes. It'll use your stats.
Can I get a TLDR on the short bow as well?
Short bow +1, gain 10 temporary HP on hit. If you don't hit anything for 6 rounds, a temporary HP fade.
Sweet.
Also, those hit points don't stack. It just takes the highest amount. So let's say that you hit it and you get 2 temp hit points this round, and the next round you hit it and get 4 back. You would get 4, you wouldn't get 6. Does that make sense?
I thought it gave 10 HP total. Does it only give as much damage as you do?
It's 10%.
Oh, wait, 10% of your HP or the damage?
When the
HP?
bearer makes a successful attack with this weapon, they gain 10% of the damage they do as temporary hit points. Round down, minimum of 1. These hit points do not stack.
And the staff, I can plant it as an action, and it'll restore 10 HP per round to anyone within 10 feet?
Yeah, and it has a pool of 30 hit points.
Total, okay.
Yeah.
I have written down pretty much everything on the inventory sheet that we have.
Excellent.
It's all in the bag of holding, so feel free to grab it from there and put it in your inventory.
I'll also put the descriptions in chat.
I have a stupid question, and I recognize that it's a stupid question, just so that you're aware. But what is a short bow? Like, how is it a strength? Is it dexterity? Is it, like, what is it?
It's dexterity.
Oh, thank God.
And it's a simple weapon proficiency, too. I don't think it's martial.
For whatever reason, I can't edit. Maybe I can. I just did something.
Yes, a short bow is simple weapon proficiency, so you don't need a martial weapon proficiency feat to use it. And I think that's probably a pretty good place to stop right there. We're already at an hour and 30 minutes.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, I did something. I can't move the short bow into my inventory, but I just tripled 3 things.
I was actually thinking that might be a good weapon for Alexander, for something to have him at range and keep his hit points up with, because you already have you would actually have less attacks around using.
That is true. Maybe we should switch Alexander. I don't know if I could ever use the rapier though, because it's really long.
It is a dex weapon, so you can use it instead of daggers. You wouldn't be able to throw it, but you could use it too.
Well, here's the thing: is that the rapier, I mean, once it's attuned and you animate it, you don't use it to attack. It attacks on its own. It acts as a dancing sword.
Yeah.
So should we switch?
Do you want the rapier, or do you...
yeah, I'll take the rapier.
Is it better than we have?
I mean, the scimitar basically works functionally the same way, too. I mean, a scimitar is a dex weapon as well.
I was just concerned with, because of how, like, the size of my character versus the size of the weapon. That was kind of my biggest concern with all of them.
Yeah, scimitar is 1d6 slashing instead of 1d6 piercing, and it is a finesse light weapon, so you would be able to use it with sneak attack as well.
Are you proficient with scimitars?
No.
Yeah, it's a martial weapon.
Rogues don't get martial weapon proficiency. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, rapier is a martial weapon as well.
So yeah,
but I think rogues get rapier proficiency, like specifically.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
I definitely agree that the short bow would be better for Alexander in terms of keeping him at range, because he didn't really have anything before, or if he did it wasn't as good as in increasing his hit points. However, I am going to need someone to fix whatever the hell I just did to our sheet. I apologize, guys.
I got it.
Well, I mean, Alexander had that crossbow before. Are you using the hand crossbow or the heavy crossbow?
Hand crossbow.
Okay, so that's 1d6, so it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, but I get the healing thing.
What's that?
Yeah, but I get the healing thing.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. If I could ask a halfling-sized favor, give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It's the best way to support us. New episodes come out every Monday, so make sure to check your podcast app. Do you have an idea to make the podcast better? Tell us about it on Twitter or Facebook. You can also check out our website to see all the maps, lore, and characters at dungeonsanddebacklespodcast.com. And now a word from our fantasy sponsor. Howdy, folks. I'm Gerg of Gerg's Barbecue and Crematorium, and I'd like to take a minute to address some of the slander about my business. We have some of the finest slow-cooked barbecue in the Plains Nation, and yes, we offer all hours crematorium services, but never the twain shall meet. Rest assured that your delicious combo platter of pulled pork and mutton never touched the remains of someone's loved one. Death comes for us all, and at all hours, and we answer the call. But that doesn't mean you could be eating a person. You have my word, we keep it separate. So if you have a hunger in your belly or sadness in your soul for the loss of a loved one, we can help. Gerg's Barbecue and Crematorium. We're always open. The music you heard on this episode was Serpentine Trek, Crossing the Chasm, Drums of the Deep, and Long Road of Head by Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. CreativeCommons.org/licenses/by/3.0.